everyone, this is Gayle. Welcome to my live stream tonight. It is good to see everyone. I hope you're having a great weekend. Well, I see that we already have Women's Nation channel in. So, hi Lori, welcome. It's good to see you. Sorry, y'all, about having to change the live stream. Um, I let the predicted ice storm sleep up on me, so kind of messed that up and had to go out and get groceries and stuff. Usually go on Fridays and have just missed it. So the big question that I've been asked is, did it snow? And yes, it did. So let me show you what we had this going on this afternoon. We had snow. There it is. There's the snow. So yeah, I don't know how much we wound up with, but all this that you whoops. Yeah, you can tell I stumbled. Anyway, all of that road that you see is predicted to freeze tonight. Supposed to be like 22, I think. So, yeah, I'm going to be snowed in for a few days. It's beautiful, though, isn't it? The snow is pretty. I don't mind it. I don't mind having snow as long as it's for a little while. Overnight is fine at most. Like I want it off the roads and gone the next day. How about you all? And Women's Nation Channel says, yay, hi. So, again. Also, I forgot when I set the time of the channel, I didn't forget. I messed up on that. When I had checked, y'all know I have math dyslexia, right? So when I had checked the time for the live stream, I checked the big Super Bowl first and found out that, or thought I found out that it was at 8:30, but with my numbers in my eyes, things change. And so it's actually, we're actually streaming during part of it, which I apologize for. Did I have any trouble getting propane? Not really. What we wound up doing was trading out tanks. I wanted to get them filled because it's so much cheaper. And instead, we just wound up trading out. So, no. Walmart was able to help us out on that and got our groceries, partially at Walmart, partially at another grocery store, but we got them. So propane is like so important. If you have a propane grill or a camp stove, you've got you're that much further down the line just in case the electricity goes off. And where I am, we're on the main highway. So if our electricity it goes off, it's not going to generally won't be off for long. But with ice, you have that extra weight on the branches. So that makes it more likely that it's going to come down due to ice. And that can take a while. So yeah, it was a big relief not to have to worry about the propane. So thank you for asking about that. And hey, we have Valerie in. Hi, Valerie. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you both. And I have fun news. Y'all want fun news? I have fun news. And that is, we did the giveaway last month with the care package for ourselves. Hockenberry Holler is here. Hi, Hockenberry. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So last month, we did a giveaway with the foot bath and the scrub and things like that. I've got some pictures to post on Facebook a little bit later today about the giveaway. Well, we're going to have another giveaway, and I'm going to have pictures of the item and so forth over on Facebook. We're going to enter through by Facebook again. And I always have to make sure that I tell everybody it doesn't have anything to do with YouTube or Facebook. They are very specific that I say that, and it doesn't. But what we have that we're going to be giving away is a travel watch, and I'll have photos of that up on Facebook later also. So it's real cute. It's real cute. It's an analog watch. It's got a globe-themed face on it, so it's really cute. So I thought I would do that because we're getting toward travel season, and one of the things personally that I like to travel with is an analog watch. And sometimes it drives my husband crazy. Do you all ever do things on trips that makes your husband a little twitchy? Well, that's one of the things that used to make him twitchy. But the thing is, when I'm traveling, my phone doesn't always update. So I'm not 100% sure what time zone I'm in all the time. And that makes a difference. Like if you're going to go through, let's just say McDonald's drive through, for example, if you're an hour off on time, that's the difference between getting lunch or getting breakfast, things like that. Stores that, like if Walmart doesn't open until 6:30 and you're in a time zone where it's still 5:30, you're going to have to wait to get your supplies at Walmart. So because it doesn't update well, I find the analog watch to be very helpful, because as you drive down the interstate, you will see a sign that says, entering the central time zone or entering the mountain time zone and whatever. So I can kind of keep up with it that way. And I can look at my analog watch and I don't have to worry about if it updates or not, because it's based on home time. So I can always say, okay, well, I'm in mountain time or I'm in central time or whatever, and I can work it out that way. Because I have a little cheat sheet up on my dash. Again, the math thing. I have a little cheat sheet up on my dash that says Eastern time zone, home, Central time zone, 1 hour behind, Mountain time, 2 hours behind, Pacific, and so forth, Alaska, 4 hours behind. So it's really helpful. So when I was thinking about what we could do for a giveaway item, I thought, why not do an analog watch? So that's what we're going to do. And that's how I came up with the idea of what to do. So that big, long explanation. So anyway, let me go here to the chat. See if it does. Valerie says she has 5 trips planned for this year already. So see, if you get to watch, you're going to be in great shape. And she says she wished she was going with y'all to Alaska. I'm so excited for you. I wish you were too. It's just going to be so much fun. Now, we're going to work our tails off. I mean, don't get me wrong, but let's just say that our downtime is just as fun as our work time is hard, because stacking wood it's physically demanding. It's not the easiest thing in the world. So we try to make sure that our downtime is spent doing things that are just as fun as stacking the wood is hard. With it being daylight until like midnight, our big challenge is not to overplan, because when it's daylight and it stays daylight, then you don't realize how time passes. And this is one thing that I have to watch when I'm driving to Alaska, because I'm driving west, and my body thinks it's Eastern time, but yet as I drive, it thinks it's staying on Eastern time. So I really kind of have to watch that. Usually it all catches up with me when I come back. That's when the travel lag, I can't say jet lag because I'm not going to be on a jet, but that's when the lag really catches up to me. But it's so much fun. We're going to have the best time. And there's so many things in Alaska to do that's like not expensive. And I'm going to do some videos on this, kind of going with the different cities that we're going to get to see. So that way, those of us who are going, I know Valerie's going to be there for some extra time. We've got some people who are coming up and they're driving. And we have another pair of folks that want some information on the different cities if they go, which we're hoping they do. I've got another couple that has come up saying they're interested. That way, y'all will have some ideas of some things to do that are not just a list. But I do have a list of neat things. But there's just so much to do that's not expensive. It's like what you spend money on, you really pay out. But there's so many things that you can do that are just not expensive. So yeah, it's cool. Like there's a bank, for example, that has like a little museum. And when I say little, it's like 3 rooms because it's still a working bank. But you go in and kind of like off to the left of the bank is things from like the earlier years of Alaska. So when I was there, I want to say that there was like a couple of gold nugget particles. I'm not going to say that they were actually nuggets. They were, but they're like basically dust, okay? And there was a gold pan from like the gold rush days and just some things like that that made it interesting. But it's all tucked inside little Wells Fargo Bank. And so it's not something you're going to spend all day doing, but it's just kind of neat to go look at. So some things like that I'm going to do. Just some videos on some fun things. So anyway, yeah, it is. I'm super stoked. And I'm not sure what route I'm taking yet, but one of the routes before put me going through or close to where you are, Lori. So I'm going to talk to you about that a little later. Yes, but what time is it in India? I don't know. India, what, 6 hours ahead of us? Probably 7 hours, I'm guessing. I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to ask Bing. Bing will know, or Google will know. I'm on Microsoft Rewards, so I'm always using Bing so I can get my points. India, country in South Asia, blah, blah, blah. What time is it now? It is 5:43 a.m. tomorrow. So it's 5:43 a.m. tomorrow, February 13th. So see what time it's 7:14 here. Huh. That's interesting. It would be 5:44 there and 7:14 here. I'm going to look that up again. That was according to timeanddate.com, so it ought to be right. Yeah, this is giving it to me again, too. I would have thought it would have been more like 5:45 or whatever, but no. Here it is. India Standard Time, 5:44. So, New York, of course, Eastern Time is 7:14, and LA is 4:14. So you've got not just on the even hours, but you've got another half hour thrown in there. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, you're going to have to do more math than I would. Interesting. But y'all are going to have an amazing time. I cannot wait to hear about this. Oh, it's going to be amazing. Let's see. Go back to chat. I always have to Google that to phone relatives in Australia. Yeah. Australia is really challenging. I had to do years ago. I had to phone somebody in Queensland twice, and it was interesting. That's when you also have to make sure that if you look it up on a website, you have to make sure the website's an accurate one. But this is going back to like the late 90s, so things were a little different with the internet then. I'm not even 100% sure we had Google yet. I don't think Google was here in 95. I'm going to look that up in a minute. And she also says, nothing like serving the Lord with folks you care about in a new place. Amen. Amen. There we go. Because it's super, I like Alaska and taking mission teams to Alaska especially because you're on U.S. soil, but it doesn't completely feel like you're on U.S. soil. So it's the closest to going to a foreign country that I would want to take somebody, unless we went to Puerto Rico, which we would need some Spanish speakers definitely to do that. So here in Alaska, it's all English, and yeah, it's really cool. Hey, Tanya. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, Tanya. I have a quick question for you. Since I can't catch you on Facebook, can you please tell me where you bought the martingale collar that you gave me? Because Pacer chewed part of it off, and I need to get another one. No, they I just got them a new harness too, and the place I got the harness from makes martingales, but I want to look at where you bought it too. So if you don't mind hitting me with that information, that would be great. So, yay. Just dropped in to say hello. Glad you did. Glad you did. Because Facebook is still being obnoxious. And it may be me or my account. I actually took a couple of days off Facebook, but you know how that goes. Sometimes you just got to do that. Oh, Tanya's leaving. I bet I missed her. Well, thank you for coming in. If you see this, maybe you'll at least know you were appreciated when you stopped in. We try to go every other year, just because it takes a while to save up the money, and usually we're in churches that can help us with fundraising. This year, unfortunately, that's not necessarily the case, but we do try to go every other year. And partially too, one thing we have to work with is this church, because they got such a solid reputation with how they do mission trips, how they do rather with mission teams, they actually have a wait list. So this year, because we did so well in 19, this year, and they didn't do anything for 2021, but this year they bumped us up to the top of the wait list because they're only having one mission team come in, and we were able to get so much work done that they bopped us up, which was really nice. Otherwise, we try to do every other month, every other year, and that generally gives people extra time to do fundraising and so forth. But they're a lot of fun. So far, we have been to Girdwood, Alaska, which was really interesting. Girdwood is a tourist town. I don't know if you guys are familiar with, familiar with Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Girdwood would be really similar to that, except not quite as built up. And we managed to hit it during their fairy festival. So people for that weekend that we first got there, they were dressed up like woodland creatures, fairy wings on their shoulders and stuff like that. So it was really interesting. Not something we typically see around here. So it was really different. One thing that we weren't prepared for was not everyone was receptive or welcoming at all to Christians. So that was something that we were definitely confronted with there. And we weren't prepared for that. But it really, you really had to know why you're a Christian, and know what you believe and why you believe it to be there. And I thought that was really interesting, and it was really helpful for me and some of the other people on the trip too. So that was cool. Okay, let me see. Yes, it does. It does. That'll be great. I wrote Tanya Gayle for you. She got the collar at Etsy. Awesome. Got on Etsy. Okay. Pup collar. Okay. In that case, I may have just ordered from the company that you ordered from. I ordered from Yep Collar, so it's probably the same thing. I just got his harness from there. I'm really, really pleased with his harness. Oh, good. Oh, no. I'm sorry you had a panic attack. I hope you're going to be okay. Those are awful. Yay! By the way, Valerie is cooking, so we know we're going to have some good food. That is wonderful because we still have him on our prayer list at church. So that is awesome. He is a carrier. Okay, well, all we have to do is get high BP under control. Well, hopefully that won't be bad. We're going to cross our fingers on that one. One of the colors I found. Thank you. Yep, Collars makes the collar, but because she had gotten it someplace before, I wanted to check. So that way I could say, hey, my friend sent me over here. She got this one, and, you know, maybe they would give her a gift card or something in return for the business. So, yeah. Yeah, I do. I do. They're awful. Yeah, what happened was he was in his crate and he was being so nice and so sweet and so quiet. And it was in like the middle of the day. So I don't know why it didn't occur to me that something was wrong. But I was doing some computer work and I was just like, oh, he's so quiet. This is wonderful. And yet he chewed the end off his collar. That's what he was doing when I was doing the computer work. So I need to get him a new collar. Oh, well. Oh, well. But I did get him the harness from Yup Collars. And I do have to say, I'm really, really, really super pleased with that. Because I think they gave me the wrong size originally. So, yeah, this one fits him really nice. But, y'all, it sounds so highfalutin. Like, somebody commented on his harness and they were like, well, where did you get it? And I was like, oh, it's an Italian leather custom made in Italy and it was imported just for him. And they were like, wow. But in reality, the Etsy shop just happens to be in Italy. But it is custom. They took his measurements and made it according to that. But you know, it's just like that sounds so like putting on airs, doesn't it, or something? Yeah. So yeah, we'll have to talk about the menu more. They're great shorts. Well, you know, I thought I'd try. If it's Yup Collars, I think they'll do like a percentage off your next one or something. We'll see. Oh, puppyhood, what a wonderful time. Yes, and he was, you know, with him being 13 months old when I got him, he's still just now like coming out of the puppy stage. So, but he does great most of the time. I will have to say, he does not act like some other breeds do at this age. He is much more mature. And if he wasn't kind of mature, they wouldn't have, you know, promoted him. But he does good. And oh my gosh, on blood sugar, he nails it. Like he nails it. And like, I don't know if y'all saw my shorts, but I did one where he was alerting. Usually I don't have high blood sugar issues. Mine just tends to drop low. But when you're on steroids, it screws up everything. So my blood sugar was really, really high. And all of a sudden he like starts tugging on my clothes. And I'm like, what is the in the world? And he's tugging. And he's like dragging me around the kitchen. And I'm like, whoa. So I checked my sugar and it was high. And he was like, you're going to fix this right now. Right now, you're going to fix this and everything will be fine. But he just, it's the one about he alerts for blood sugar and he doesn't take no for an answer. And he was just all over that. Usually with lows, he's just constantly patting my leg until I get some juice or something. So Valerie, if we happen to go and if we happen to have that kind of behavior out of him in Alaska, he's not misbehaving. My big thing is I'm afraid people will think he's misbehaving, but he's actually doing that. And by golly, he was very insistent. He's been insistent before, but he took the cake on that one. That's the thing to do, and that's why we had like so many things with Bisquick last time. So yeah, that's great. I always brush my teeth. Oh, that's interesting. He is super. Um, And the thing is about the food in Alaska, like the church may give us some food, which will be great. And they're going to do basically 2 meals for us. But most of what we've got is coming out of the lower 48, except some of the meats up there, which will probably be meats like what we have down here, unless they come up and give us something. I know Valerie is planning on us having salmon for a meal, which we're all hoping happens. Yeah. He is. He's a huge blessing to me. So, like some of the foods that we had last time, we won't have these all the time, but I'll tell you, they did a meal for us. This church does it every year, where they will have a meal midweek with Alaskan foods, and so we may have caribou, elk, bear showed up last time, venison. What else? Oh, somebody brought cheese grits. Was really well received by our team. Let's see what else. Because like there was a bear casserole. Oh, we did have some salmon, halibut pie, which was quiche made with fish, moose meatballs. We had those one year, and we had let's see the bear casserole, elk meatballs. We had one year. Venison usually shows up. So they all go through and tells us what's available at that meal. It is so cool. But I do have to say that when we had the cheese grits show up, my folks were like, "Oh, good! This is something I know I can eat and something I know I like." So it was nice. And I tell everybody that if there is, just try it. And if there's something you really don't like, I'm sorry. Just take a little spoonful of everything, and then we'll put sandwich meat or something out later just in case. But, it's always available there. Not yet callers. Okay. Called. Okay. I will look then some more. Need to put up new content. I'm sure. I'm glad you're coming out of it. Pup joy. Let me write that down. Pup joy. Okay. All right. So I'll give them a call or a look. Check out their Etsy store. So yeah, the meal is always interesting. So, hey, the white 2-pack is in the house. Hey, good to see you, white 2-pack. Good to see you. I hope things are going well. And let's see, doing chicken and dumplings for lunch to use up any veggies from the night before, and I can use the biscuit mix that's donated. Sounds good. Sounds good. And I'll talk to you about sizes of things in just a little bit. I'll send you a message. But basically, we may not want the commercial size if our team size shrank. So the large cans, we may want to get smaller cans, but I want to talk to you about it first. We're going to catch it fresh on Saturday. Sounds good. Now, if you catch some and you want to take it home with you, like right before you leave, at the airport, they have this large section in the baggage area. It's kind of way off to the side, but they will pack it for you and put it on the plane and ship it. So if you decide to get that done, it's there. It's at the airport. Yep, Women's Nation Channel, that's exactly what she's doing. They were interesting. They were interesting. And the little elk meatballs were good too. That way, everybody at the meal gets a little taste of some foods that we're not going to have around here. And like, oh my gosh, the caribou sausage that we had was great, but it was really, it wasn't like a breakfast sausage. It was more like a kielbasa or a Polish sausage. Why am I waving my pen around? Sorry, no idea. Planning to do a ham, macaroni, and cheese for lunch the day they cook for us, so we can have any leftovers if we don't eat a lot of. That's a good idea. Good idea. Oh, good, 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 good. Well, I'll tell them that you sent me. If I buy from them, I'll make sure to tell them. Definitely. I'll double check that when I can remember my password. I understand. It's so hard to keep up with passwords. I did not see your email. I am sorry, but first, hi Peter. I did not see your email. But basically, what happened was I let the ice storm sneak up on me, and I hadn't bought any of our groceries yet because I usually go on Fridays, and then something came up, so I had to go get that taken care of, and it took forever, forever. So, which I should have known. Okay, like Walmart, I should have known it would be a zoo. I should have. So yeah. So I messed up, and I'm sorry. But this is what it was doing this afternoon. So we got the snow and all of this. Oh yeah, that's where I stumbled. Sorry, oops. So yeah, and all of that water on the road is expected to freeze tonight. So oops. That's super news. So that's what happened to me, and I'm sorry. That's going to be so much fun. I hope you have a great time on that fishing trip. It's hard, and I hate that. I've got a friend of mine that is she's losing her sight, and she is a very craft oriented, detailed person. She's doing beautifully with it, but it's tough for her, and it's tough to watch her. So hopefully you'll be able to continue to keep as much as possible. Right? Yeah. Hopefully, I'm still like, we should go hunt down that groundhog. Just have a chat with him. Just say, next year, do better. But yeah, at one point, for our little area that we were looking at predictions between 8 to 10 inches, but they've lowered that now. I think we're going to get closer to 3. But the problem is, it's always like that ice underneath the snow. Like, I hate it. Like, I still have, oh, every time we were in Eastern Carolina, North Carolina, when they had this massive ice storm that like shut down all of Eastern North Carolina, and like our county was the hardest hit, or one of the hardest hit, and we had church members that got their electricity on 2 weeks later. It was insane. So I'm like, now when I hear that ice is coming, I make sure we stock up, and that's like getting the propane and the groceries and stuff, and trying to make sure you have non-perishables on hand, things like that. All those things that you have to do. But on the plus side, I will say that because I've done van life and had that experience, it has taught me more about preparing in advance for bad weather, because a large portion of my van life is off grid stuff. And so those lessons for off grid transfers to preparing to be off grid for the storms. So that has really been helpful. And that is not something I expected to have that came out of doing van life, but it's really been great. The other thing is, because we've done van life, I have the solar panel up on the roof of the van, which is awesome when I'm traveling, but it's also a relief because I know that if it's icy, I can at least go out. Now, when you have solar, you have a battery that goes with it, or batteries in our case. So I know that if we're out and we don't have electricity for, several hours, days, whatever, I can go out there and I can get into the van and I can run a heater for a little while, and I can charge my phone, my laptop, things like that, and then run those off my cell phone if I have to. Um, Also, where I have the washing machines that are not normal, they have the washer and then the spinner, and they're mostly manual, well, partially manual, I guess you could say, with the water. Those run off my solar beautifully. So I can actually have clean clothes. So it's really taught me a lot, and it's a big relief to have done the van life and to have those things. I feel a little guilty about it too, because I know if something comes up, we're going to be better off than some people. So we'll be, if we can get out, we'll be letting people charge their phones and stuff in it. But hopefully here, being on the main highway, we won't have to worry about that. So, but anyway, it's just kind of interesting how God just takes all of your life experiences from different scenarios, different situations, and it builds upon it. Hopefully not. Hopefully it'll be less than that. But yeah. Okay, I will know more. I'm so excited. I was just telling Valerie yesterday, I'm so excited because we've got it nailed down that one of the missionaries from the church in Alaska, in Willow, where we're going to be, is actually coming here. He has to be in the conference for an annual event that he has to come to. So he's going to come up here and he's going to speak at our church on, now I forgot what day. Anyway, I totally have drawn a blank. Yeah, that neuron died. Anyway, he's coming to speak to our church somewhere. It's in the first week of March. So I'll know more then and can talk to him about what kind of things they need. It was very nice of you to offer, and we really appreciate it. That would be cute. I can sure do that, or washcloths, hats, mittens. I think there's usually a push for hats and scarves. I think there's a big push for that. I want to say that at Christmas time, they try to make those available and hand those out so people can get ready for winter, if I'm remembering right. I'll look and see if I have their newsletter. If so, then I can send that to you electronically, I think. Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day to you too. That's actually why I'm wearing red. So I just forgot to say that. So thank you. Hey, Butter Roll Boutique is here. Now, I got to tell you, Butter Roll Boutique, that you are in very good company here in this chat right now, because we have two other crocheters. Okay, you all, she crochets. So we have got, in addition to you, Butter Roll, being here, we have got Valerie Reese, who crochets, and there's her channel, and Huckleberry Holler, who crochets, and that's her channel. So, yay! And y'all, she does some cute dolls and things. So I've got to learn how to make some of those dolls, because I know that with our little Bambina, I'm going to be making some. Sorry, she knits. Yes, thank you. But Huckleberry, I think, please tell me, Leah, that you do crochet. So I'm not totally messing up there. And some adorable hedgehogs, I might say. Yeah, I've got to learn how to do those dolls, because I'm going to need to. So, and we just sent, I sent her a little box of things. I'm so excited. So I hope she likes them. We actually had a problem with the outfit that I ordered for her for Christmas, and it was, they sent the wrong one, and I was really, really upset. The one that she got was almost exactly like what I had ordered, so I could see how they kind of, if they're just grabbing things off the shelf and they're not looking at the labels, I can see how they got messed up. But I contacted the company, and I had bought it on clearance, so it was a rock bottom price. And I contacted them, and they're like, "Oh, we're so sorry." And then, so what they did was they gave me a credit and said that she could keep the outfit. So I got to use the credit. It was like so cool. So very cool. So yeah. And it looks like she may be coming. Did I tell you all? She might be coming out here to see us. It's a sad reason, but we've got to scatter some ashes. But if all goes well, she'll actually be here the end of April, 1st of May. So she might be here for her first birthday. Cross your fingers. If not, it'll be a couple of weeks before that. So I just have to tell you all and just reiterate how appreciative we are of all the prayers that you all put in to this baby, because you're why she pulled through. You're why she's doing pretty well. She's still not gaining weight. We're still working on that, but developmentally, she is on target and actually a little ahead of where they expected her to be in some areas. So developmentally, she is doing great. And for you all who don't know, in May, my first and probably only grandchild arrived at 1 pound 15 ounces and at 25 weeks instead of 40. So it was intense. It was intense. But anyway, thank you all. So I'm super excited. Okay, she does crochet. I thought so. I use one needle, Valley reuses too. Yeah, I'm not coordinated enough for that. Yeah, I did say little one. Hey, traveling is peace of mind. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And let's see. Thanks, better. Yeah, it's good to see you. We got Valerie saying she knits wedding gnomes for her niece who's getting married in India a month. She opened the gift today, so I can post the video sometime this week. That is so cool. And I'm sure she's going to doubly appreciate things that you make for her because it's things she can't get there, Plus, you made it. I just think that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you would not believe. And some people have heard the stories before, so I'm not going to go into it totally right now. But what God did from the get-go has just, it's been like layers upon layers of miracles. It's amazing. Absolutely, completely leaves me speechless sometimes. So it's been amazing. I will tell you that, God got really busy in this child's life because her mama drove herself to the hospital, not realizing she was in labor. And I'm not going to bore everybody here with all the details because they've heard it. But I will say that she got to the hospital about 30 to 40 minutes before the baby came. And, she still had to go through, actually get in and go through registration and be seen and all that stuff. And unfortunately, /4, however you want to say, by the time they got her back there and saw her, which was relatively quick, the baby was like crowning. So all the staff was like flying into the room. She was like, the nurse hit the panic button and hollered out into the hall, and she was like 9 centimeters. There's no stopping this. We got to go. And Samantha, my daughter, said they just came out of nowhere and started running her down in the gurney to try to get to the OR just in case they needed any of the equipment that was there. And she said that as they were running, and she says full tilt marathon style running. She said as they were doing that, they were putting the IV in her arm, and she was like, she still can't believe that the nurse got it. So phenomenal, phenomenal healthcare, just super, just from the get go. But anyway, yes, thank you, and y'all have been amazing, and I thank you all so much. That's going to be a cool video watching her open it. And I'm catching up on videos. I'm sorry. I'm behind, but I am going to catch up. So wow. So thank you all so much. I'm sorry to have to move things because usually we're on Saturday nights, but oops. I just let the ice catch up. So hopefully that won't happen again. So, all right, you all. For the benefit of those who are new in the chat, I'm going to put in, y'all should consider joining our Facebook group. I'm going to put that link down there. And that's actually Gayle Vlogs. And here's our link for the Facebook. So y'all should come join us over there because we have fun. So, all right, you all. Oh, you did. Wow. Well, wow. So you're familiar with the ups and downs. Yeah. We almost lost this one a couple of times. Her pulse like went into the 30s. And so that really gave me a newfound appreciation for a lot of different things. So, yay! Congratulations on having the grands. I think that this is probably going to be the only one because Samantha is like, she says she's not doing this again. But I'm telling her, wait to make up your mind for sure because, we get this as moms. We get this amnesia about labor pains and delivery and stuff. So I'm hoping that happens with her. But Stellar Piper is like, no, she's never. She's like, she is allergic to kids. And with her brain tumor and all, she is like, I am not. So don't even talk to me. She's going to spoil. She's going to be the great aunt that spoils, which is fine. I know it does. I'm telling you, I'm a party pooper on that, right? Sorry about that. Yeah, it's Sunday, which that almost slipped up on me too. And my husband was like going through, the house, kind of muttering his sermon, and I'm like, would you just quit worrying? You've got a couple more days. And he's like, no, I've got tomorrow morning. And I'm like, no, you don't. But yeah, that was yesterday. So yesterday was just a crazy day. That is wonderful news. Okay, so I feel like so much better with what Leah just said and what you just said because, you worry. That's what we do as grandparents. We do that as mothers. We practice, and then I guess we fine tune it for grandparenthood. So, freshman year of college, that's awesome though. I hope she or he likes college. It's so much different. But yeah, sorry Val about having to go to work tomorrow. I actually have to go out. Supposed to go out tomorrow. I think that's going to be my last appointment in the Novavax COVID vaccine study. I think it's tomorrow. So, yeah. I'm going to be kind of glad and sad to see that come to an end. It's been really interesting. So, now, are you getting this ice and snow, y'all? Leah and Valerie, I know you're more east than I am here in Southwest Virginia, East Tennessee. Yes, just stay hands-on. Oh, wow. I'm sorry she hates it. I hope it gets better for her. It's tough though. I had one that didn't like it at all and one that just took to it like duck to water. So I like the just stay hands-on advice. Good. Good, good, good. Let's see. Sorry, I got a little thing coming in. I get Twitter notifications, and that's always the way Gloria gets in touch with me during the live stream. And she, oops, sorry, Gloria. Gloria just sent me a tweet notification. Her husband moved to poker night so they could from last night, so they could do this Super Bowl stuff tonight. So she could have come on last night. I'm like, sorry. Oops. So Gloria is somebody who is, she's regular here. She's just a neat gal. Been raining all day. It's temps low 30s, so it'll probably freeze some tonight. Wow. Ask that again. Weather is raining and cold. Okay, well, hopefully it will stay above freezing, so you won't have problems. Hopefully. Because ice is awful. I mean, give me snow, but just leave this ice out of it. Because that's just the worst because of all the weight. Because that's what brings down, the trees and the power lines and things like that. Yeah, and they said that we're anticipating a wet snow too, which is not good. But I guess we just, we take it as it comes. And let's see. Did everyone have Super Bowl food for dinner? I did not. I had something nice. Valerie had chicken wings and pizza. Okay, anyhow, one of my preeming boys was on a cooling blanket at birthday to 86 degrees to help his brain bypass the portion of his brain that was without oxygen. Wow. Okay, and my daughter lost oxygen for a few minutes. Granddaughter lost oxygen for a few minutes. No. I'm going to tell her that. Yeah, it can. I agree. Yeah, well said. Very well said. Very well said. We don't have it that bad here. Now, the place that we were, further down in Tennessee, outside of Chattanooga, we lost power there some too. Mostly that was from tornadoes, though. So, because a few hours further south, and it keeps getting warmer. So, you get the touch of that, secondary tornado alley there. So, I guess there's just something to deal with everywhere. I guess God keeps throwing the weather at us to remind us who's in charge. So, yeah. Woo! That's good. That sounds like a good dinner. Butteroll Boutique said she did not have Super Bowl food. She had rice and gravy, broccoli, and corn on the cob. Nice. Nice. Okay, Peter. I don't know about that. That's what Pipsy had, though. So I guess you're not in terrible company, but I kind of don't think you did that. Hope not, anyway. So, yeah, we actually, our grocery store had this Valentine's Day deal with twice baked potatoes and asparagus and steaks and bread. It was like $30. So we went ahead and had it tonight since we weren't 100% sure about electricity and stuff. So we had a really good dinner. It was my early Valentine's Day dinner. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Make sure we keep in touch and you let me know that. Because I I was actually just in Bristol Thursday, and I'll be back there again tomorrow because that's where I have to go for the study. Hey, yeah, cheeseburgers are good. So yeah, you can definitely say it's Super Bowl good, Super Bowl food, because think how many people are going to be making, like cheeseburger sliders and stuff. That's good to know because I've seen it and I've wondered about it. I like Bristol, but I don't. Yeah, I've not done that particular event yet. I like going down and walking around and just kind of taking it all in. We actually went about, I don't remember if it was last year or the year before. We went down and stayed at the Sessions Hotel down in Bristol just to take a quick midweek break, and that was interesting. It was. My husband cooked it, and he did a nice job. Of course, anytime my husband cooks something, even if it's not good, we're going to tell him it is because I don't have to do it. Okay, Ro, while you listen, you're doing so good with that. A real inspiration there. With my alpha gal, I can't eat beef or pork. Whoops. I did not know that kicked in for beef and pork. It's actually something that I've just recently been learning about. So that's good to know. If we get together in Bristol, maybe we can do like fish or something if you want to go out to a restaurant together or whatever. Barbecue. There's a place down from the Sessions Hotel that's supposed to be good for lunch and dinner. So Southern Craft. We went there for breakfast and it wasn't great, but then I've heard several people say that lunch and dinner is the time to go. So, yeah. So, all right, you guys, I try to keep these streams to about an hour. So, I'm going to be signing off in a couple more minutes here because I'm still going to do my live stream on the other channel at 9 p.m., which is the online Bible study. We're going to be looking at Lot's wife. So, okay, what's Alpha Gal? And yes, I will check that. I'll check it after the shows. What is Alpha Gal? Alcohol is a syndrome, and it can cause food. It's kind of a food allergy. It can cause anaphylaxis. Do you have to carry epinephrine for that? And it's a meat allergy specifically. I ran into some of that. I can't do venison. I can do other meats, but venison is a no-no for me because it makes my tongue go numb. But I'm allergic to onions, so I already had the epinephrine. Do you have to carry it? Now that's caused from a tick bite, also, correct? It is a tick bite allergy to mammal. See, you phrased that so nicely, succinctly. I do not. Mine is gastro and dermatological. Well, I'm glad it's not anaphylaxis. I'm anaphylactic to onions, and that's rough because onions are hidden in so many things, and I can't do chives either. So it's at least beef and pork is a little bit more, not as hidden because anything beef based, you already know to avoid that and stuff. But with onions, I get, oh, they're on top, you can just pick them off, and I'm like, no, don't let them touch my cheeseburger, stuff like that. But it's still rough. I mean, either way you go, neither one's a good thing. I have never tried that. Oh my gosh. Now, did you mentioned earlier having family in Australia? Is that how you had the kangaroo to try? That's amazing. Oh, and Better Roll Boutique is also sending you her condolences on this. She says, "Wow, I'm so sorry." I don't know that I would even want to try eating kangaroo. Like, I had Vegemite once. Once, what I had was like pure salt. Oh, any mammals? Oh. Yeah, I'm okay except venison. Now, I have heard, and I don't know if it's true or not because I don't want to test it, but I've heard that some alpha gal syndrome type issues will not resolve, but they'll improve as time goes on. I'm not sure I would want to trust that, but I was just told that. Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't either. I guess it's just amazing, like some of the things you learn about. And like YouTube, oh my gosh, it's like connecting with people on YouTube is like the greatest because you get to learn about so many different things from people firsthand that you connect with. And I've made some of the best friends thanks to YouTube than like I would never have met otherwise. It is it's it's really cool, y'all. Really cool. So, all right. Well, I'm going to thank you all for coming in. Okay, they can improve. And there's, oh, in Virginia Beach, that is acupuncture is supposed to help with it. Neat. I don't know. I'm going to have to research that because I can't imagine how acupuncture is going to help with allergies. Interesting. I'm glad that they can improve. That kind of, now I'll be honest with you, that kind of blew me away when I heard that because I was like, you know, like how, like fundamentally, like how, I don't know if you're just not exposed to it or as much because you're avoiding it or what, but I don't understand how allergies improve. Like I get how we're little kids and our bodies are developing, so we learn not to be so sensitive to like hay fever and dust and stuff. But interesting. And she says, of course, if you get bit by a tick again, it can get worse. Oh, great. I am like kind of, I don't want to say phobic, but I do take a lot more precautions with ticks now. And that's something that's interesting too, because different areas of the country, like areas that don't have ticks, they freak out. Like the folks freak out if there's a tick. And like here in the southeast, it's like, oh, another tick. You know, and I just think that is like so interesting how the different regions respond to that. Like I was in New York once, in New York City, and of course they have they have different things than we do, but they didn't have ticks. And then somehow or other, they were out playing in this little bitty yard, and one of the guys had a tick, and wow, they just like all freaked out. And I thought, okay, this is just my friends just being weird. But no, we were out west somewhere, and this mom and this kid, they were in the bathroom, and this little girl was like screaming, "Get it off of me! Get it off of me!" And the mom's like, "Hold still! Oh my gosh!" And then they were like, "Do we call the doctor? Do we wash it down with alcohol? Oh my gosh, what do we do?" And I'm like, I felt kind of bad for him because it was, we just think, oh, it's a tick, but they were like really freaking out about this little girl having a tick on her. So I'm like, okay, I've had, all these first aid classes and whatnot. And I'm like, do you want me to look at it? I am not a doctor. I just have like advanced first aids and stuff. And they're like, yes, please, yes, please. It is crawling on the girl's arm. It is not attached. It was crawling on her arm. And I was like, I really think you're going to be okay. Go ahead and call the doctor if you feel like you need to, but the tick's not attached. I don't see any signs of where it's been attached, like ever. But, and the mom was just, she was real. I have the strangest experiences traveling. I'm just saying. But anyway, it was interesting. Okay. Oh, well, okay. This does kind of make sense, though. I think it's the same concept as the fact if you take bee pollen, it might help with bee sting allergies. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So just like exposure, but not directly. Okay. That makes sense to me. Wow. And you don't, you just get used to like seeing the ticks and dealing with the ticks here in the Southeast. That's Lyme disease. That's, wow. Yeah. Horrible long-term thing. That can really mess you up. Grew up in Southeast Arkansas and we were taught to stay away from ticks. Yeah. Here it's like almost impossible. What we started doing, and it's because of where we lived in North Carolina, when we lived in this little town called Bullock, we did some treating of the yard to help take care of those ticks. And we still had them, but it helped. And then we learned from that to where the last place that we lived, outside of Chattanooga down there in Tennessee, we sprayed the trees and everything, but we still had them. So, but it's just one of those things that you don't, I guess you just get desensitized to it and you just don't think about it. Kind of like fire ants. You just, okay, they're there and avoid the mounds. But if you treat one, it's going to come up 6 feet later and whatnot. And you just kind of get used to it and roll with it. We are considering guinea hens. Ticks are horrible here. This mild winter will make it worse. Won't chickens eat ticks too? Do I remember hearing that? That's sticking in my mind for some reason. So now, Butterell, I guess if you grew up in Southeast Arkansas, you must be in part of that tornado alley too, won't you? Were you like near, like there's Hot Springs National Park and stuff? They do, but guineas and possums are the best. Okay. I didn't know that about possums. I'm glad to know they have some redeeming qualities, though. Well, I hope that goes well for you. If you get them, you'll have to make some videos. Keep us all posted. Okay. All right. So, no, we were further south. Gotcha. I've been through a few areas in the southeast. That being one of them. I've been through Hope, Arkansas, which is, I guess, down there next to Mississippi, Louisiana. I can't think. Anyway, I am horrible about making videos. You've got time, and see now you can do little shorts. Okay, I have seen Forest City on the map, but have not been through there. Helena, I think I've also seen on the map. I don't remember Marietta. So now you give me excuse. I got to go look it up. So cool. And she says, I grew up in Ohio and we had terrible tornadoes there. Tornadoes are scary because you just don't know. I would rather be in a hurricane than a tornado. And I don't like tornadoes. And of course, hurricanes can spawn tornadoes, but at least you're not waking up at 3 a.m. out of the blue with no warning. You know, with hurricanes, there's those predictions, and you usually have a few days to get it together, but not so with tornadoes, that's for sure. So, scary stuff. So, hopefully, this will be a good spring and we won't have to worry about any of that. But, you know, fortunately, Valerie, we don't have to worry too much about tornadoes in Alaska because I don't think they really have any. So that's good. And they don't have snakes either, so that's nice. So, all right, you all. I try to keep it to an hour to be cognizant of your time, and we've gone over just a little bit. So, fortunately, far enough inland here, hurricanes aren't horrible, just power outages and trees down, which is true. But those flying trees can get to you. I remember now, the weather service out there really ticked me off because we were up where we were, we had been driving around and I was looking into Vance County and I was watching the wall cloud forming. And I called the National Weather Service and I'm like, hey, you know, we just moved here last year. I've done the storm spotting classes for like the past 8 years. I am looking at this thing forming. And they're like, well, you know, you haven't taken it from us down in Raleigh. So after this is all over, you can come down and I'll let you know when the next storm spotting class is, and you can come down here and you can take it then. And I'm like, look, I see this forming. I am telling you. And so he didn't want to listen to me. I got so mad. Well, later, my phone rang. This was like later the next day, my phone rang, and it was emergency management saying, if you see something like this again and the National Weather Service does that again, just call me. Here is my cell phone number. And he was so nice. But what had happened was people had found fish from their yard that lived like a mile from the lake. So obviously, water spout, then overland, dropping fish. I'm like, ugh, so frustrating. But anyway, good old Vance County, right? Look up Elaine while you're at it. It's my hometown. I'm in Memphis now. I will look it up. Oh my gosh, you're in Memphis? I have to be there later this month. The 28th, I'm going to be in Memphis. What a small world. That is so cool. And Huckleberry says, I remember that year. Golly, that was bad. That was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Wow. This is so cool, though. All right. Well, you all, I'm going to have to scoot. Got to do some getting ready. Refresh my notes for the Bible study here at 9 online on the other channel. But it's been great hanging out with you all. Thank you so much for being out here. And I hope that your weekends and your week and it just goes fabulously well. So, and remember on this channel, we're always about hashtag Be Bodacious because that means you're not going to let life get in the way of living. And we're not going to let weather and hurricanes and ticks and illnesses, we're not going to let those things keep us from living either. All right. So y'all, go have a great week. I'm going to post about the giveaway over in our Facebook group, and you guys can see the watch and see what we're going to do for that. It'll be really cool. Good night, Valerie. Good night, Leah. Good night, Literal. Everybody, good night. Take care, and I'll see you on a couple of videos this week, and then the live stream, the regular live stream, will be Saturday at 7 on this channel next week, Eastern time, 7 o'clock. So good night.